Edit now.
Welcome to Buckeyes and Beyond. Here are your hosts, Jeff and Mike.
Hey, what's up? Another episode of Buckeyes and Beyond. I'm Jeff. That's Mike.
What's up, guys?
I probably had to turn that up a little bit more.
I had it up as far as it would go, I think. Yeah.
Hope everybody heard that intro. Another intro, same by Kyle Ham.
Good man, Kyle Ham.
Voiceover specialist. He's done voices for Pixar movies. And
Coming to you guys on a different format here. We'll see if this works any better than what we've been doing over the last month or so here. Hopefully this comes out better.
yeah, we're going to talk about a few things today. Just kind of go over Gene Smith, what he said here recently. We'll start off with that. And what they are proposing is to have Ohio State football with a quarter of the fans, roughly.
Yeah,
to start out with.
that.
That's the plan right now. It's just, everything's play it by ear. You go online, you start, this morning on Twitter, I saw the Ozarks were the Ozarks, Missouri Ozarks were trending. And they're like, what's this about? And then, well, no, they had resorts down there that were packed to the gills. Like it was last summer. Packed to the gills, looking like 1992 MTV Spring Break. Dan Cortez.
Dan Cortez. There's a name from the 90s. Good Lord.
Yes. There, I'll show it to you here. Let me see.
Dan Cortez.
You haven't seen this.
I haven't seen it yet, no.
Here, let me see. You see this?
Oh, yeah. Good Lord.
Yeah, look at that. Packed to
Man.
the gills, man. And they're supposed to have I'll do it again. They're supposed to have a 6-foot social distancing plan.
No, that's not.
That looks in like normal circumstances.
Yeah, that looks like everyone is. The pandemic is over. Let's get together as soon as possible. Look at that lady with her arm just draped over somebody. My gosh, it's ridiculous.
Oh, yeah, right here. Is she topless?
Yeah, there you well, if she is, then we're very sorry if she's topless, and nobody wanted to see that. I don't think she. But man, they are.
Yeah.
They're making it out hot and heavy. Damn. Jeez.
Yep. Oh, there we go. Both of them are infected. The bright side is, at least it's not sexually transmitted.
Yeah. If it was, every one of those people they would all be sick.
Can't catch it by
my
somebody
gosh.
being in the pool.
I can't believe that. That is ridiculous.
Hopefully it's warm enough and humid enough.
I guess that's sort of the thought process behind it, but my gosh, that's insane.
Cool little setup with those tables and stuff.
Yeah, I mean it's a really nice place, but my gosh,
Everybody
who is
had
this guy all by himself down there in the corner? He's just hanging out. Like what? Like the one guy that doesn't have a date.
Where is he at?
I don't know. He already right there. Yeah, that guy that you just passed.
This guy?
No. I don't know where he went. He was
trying to find the loser.
Yeah, trying to find the one loser that doesn't have a date in that entire place.
Look at this guy. He's on the prowl. This guy right here.
Oh yeah, there he is. He is checking out the scenery. Let's see. Who am I gonna take my shot with? Who is gonna fall to my charms?
Security, I think.
I could be.
Hey,
Waiting for him to actually make his move. He's probably watching that guy. He's probably waiting for him to actually drop something in some girl's drink. Just
yeah, bro.
waiting for him.
He's he's
can run up
looking for roofies, and then he's like, oh damn, I forgot about the social distancing. Man, I knew I forgot something. Man, this is all out of control now. I quit.
I mean, my God, it's like 3 stories of just social distancing at all, man. It's like 3 stories. It's like, my gosh, do you people not have any understanding of what's going on?
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Oh, yeah, here you go. There you go. Hold on. There's make out right here. Look at it. Hold on. There you go. Right here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He may just be getting a little something going on there. You know what? That seems like the type of place, and the time frame seems like where you could do that and people would just start to cheer. Like, yeah, man, go ahead. Get it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's sauced up enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Unbelievable.
So I don't know. Yeah, hopefully stuff like that isn't gonna like ruin it. Because you get the slightest spike.
Yeah.
The slightest spike, they're gonna be like, nope.
No more football. Nope. No
What?
football.
The positive rate has gone up to 8%, folks. The death rate has gone up to 0.007 now. Okay.
It's just, I mean, look, I get that those people wanted to just get out because it was nice and we hadn't done anything for some time and all that stuff. But, you have to have some patience, man. You got to have some patience.
I mean, golly, at least like I know it sucks and you feel like a social reject, like putting on a mask and you're trying to stay away from people. It's in a lot of situations, it's almost impossible. Because I mean, how are you going to keep a 6-foot bubble around?
Yeah, I mean, you can't.
And there's some people out there. I've walked by people, in stores, and they almost, you can feel them get weirded out when they when you walk by them and you're not like when you break the 6-foot rule, you can feel them get weirded out.
Yeah. I mean, I see it at my work. I've never told anybody where I work, and I'm not going to, but I work at a major retail store, doing security, which is actually my job now, to do security. It's not just watching monitors, but
you got rid of the mop bucket?
Yeah, I don't really have that right now. Mainly I just kind of stand around and try to look scary.
No.
But I mean, you see it when people walk inside the store and like somebody walks near them, they get that look of like, oh, what are you doing? Stop it. Don't come near me. It's like, look, relax. It's almost like those people, I keep on waiting for, and I'm sort of half serious, but I keep waiting for somebody to just break out their own personal tape measure. It's like, okay, 6 feet, stay back.
Yeah.
6 feet back. Come on. Nope. You're 5.5 feet. Get back. It's like, come on. Stop it.
There was a guy, like when this all first started going on,
Yeah.
there was a couple pictures or videos out there where these guys created this funny attachment on themselves where they had split sticks on each side of them. It's like, don't come near, it's like almost like a vest device with like poles on it. It was probably, mocking it a bit.
Yeah, it was a joke, but I mean, there are some people that may start to actually, act like that, and it's more about just have a little bit of common sense, try to keep some form of distance between you and the person next to you. I mean, it's not like you have to be, so anal, about the whole thing where it's just, you're getting pissed off if somebody comes closer than, than like 4 feet, stay like an arm's length out, or, as much as you can. It's just common sense. That's all it is.
I sold something. I was cleaning out my garage, and I put something on Facebook Marketplace, and I sent it to a guy. He was in Columbus, and he came by, and we were talking. It seemed like a real good dude, little older guy, and a little bit, and he we're just chit chatting, and then he we're like, all right, man. He's like, yeah, good. You're real like towny, folksy guy.
Yeah.
He was like, no hesitation. I was glad. He was like, right there. Like, all right, good meeting you, man. Like no hesitation, no question, no permission asked. I was happy. I was glad,
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I've shook a guy's hand in months.
It's been a long time since I have. That is for certain.
So it was kind of refreshing.
Yeah.
Did I wash my hands when I went in? Yeah, but I would have done that before.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's been kicking his ass.
You just don't know. It's some stranger. You just want to wash your hands afterwards. You're not sure.
Whatever. Yeah, but I went in and washed my hands. I wasn't like.
Yeah, you didn't like go and get something and put your hand inside of like a cellophane bag and start to wrap it up and like run out to the ER. Yeah. Scrub off my hand. Put something. Just wash your hands with soap and water.
Decon shower.
Yeah.
They have those at hospitals. They have a decontamination shower.
Right. Yeah. 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 I watched, ironically, right before all this stuff started. In fact, I think I put something on Facebook on it. I was watching Outbreak right before all this stuff started, and they do that like 6 times throughout that whole movie. You always see something like that where they walk in that little room and then that shower comes down on them and they start spraying themselves with whatever it is. Yeah.
So yeah, we like Oregon. Their AD has laid out the financials of like what they're aiming for and like the scenarios that they're going through. Yeah. 75% of the revenue for the athletic department comes from football. So, I mean, money's going to play a factor in this. They want to do everything they can without looking like money hungry a-holes. But they got a business to run. I mean, business to run, but they also don't want anybody to suffer because of this, because they, to nix programs. I mean, Bowling Green baseball, they killed the baseball program.
Wow.
Yeah, they killed it.
I didn't even know that.
It's no more for now.
It's done. Wow.
They got raised like $5 million.
That'll be tough.
And I mean, they've had major leaguers come out of there. I mean, it's not some podunk nothing. I mean, no, I mean it's been a fairly good.
Yeah, it's been fairly good. I think what this is going to bring to the forefront is what people have been trying to really not talk about for years is college football is a business. Whether, I mean, you can say it's not all you want. College sports is, you can talk about, that's what I'm looking for, amateurism all you want, but that's not what it is. It's a business, and they're going to make money from it. That's what these programs do. They make tons of money for the universities. And if these schools don't play football, it's going to seriously impact what they do for the rest of this year. So whether people like it or not, NCAA football is a major business that's worth billions of dollars. And it is going to rear its head and show the world how serious of a business it really is.
Yeah, Pac-12 Commissioner Larry Scott, he's saying there's going to be football, and they're working on, figuring that out.
Yeah.
You know,
So the other argument that now I don't think this is really going to become a problem, but one of the arguments that I heard being made was if you force the football teams to play when there are stipulations in place, then it's going to turn them into actual employees, and you're going to have to start paying them. Now, luckily, the stipulations have been sort of lifted, and they are allowing people back out. But that was going to be something I thought would be a big deal if they tried to force the students back onto campus to start practicing for football. But luckily, most states have already lifted most of their, stay-at-home orders.
yeah. So University of Utah is slowly opening back up. They're opening their doors in the athletic. Well, let's see. They don't know the stipulations. I guess that hasn't been publicized, but they're trying to get students back in there on June 1st.
Yeah.
Because they don't want them, they want them to train, but they don't want them going to 24-hour fitness and crap. They don't want them to be out there with the public and just rely on the local gym's policies,
Yeah.
Who the hell knows?
Yeah, it's because I think aren't the Buckeyes going back on the 1st?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think that's probably the goal that most schools are probably going to set is right around that same time frame. So
yeah, they can just control things. They have more resources there. They can they can control the environmental aspect of it.
Right.
They got cleaning staff out the butt there. They can just it's just more controlled environment.
Yeah. And I haven't seen or read of anybody that's really upset that the schools are actually going back not the schools, but the teams are actually going back on the 1st. And I think that's wise is because most of these programs, they employ people who are the best at what they do. So, they are going to have the best doctors, the best facilities and all that stuff. And they're going to make sure that it's a clean and healthy environment for the students. So I don't think there's that many people that are really upset by it.
Yeah. No, I haven't heard any backlash.
No.
From it. It's not like they were doing it a month ago,
Right.
Or they never stopped spring ball, or They never.
Yeah.
If they were just kind of trying to power through spring ball in one day.
Yeah, and boy, they canceled this. Didn't the Buckeyes cancel the spring game back in February, right? So they were.
I don't know if it was that far back.
Really, I thought it was in February. It might not have been until March, but they were pretty much shut down. I think starting in March is when they shut down.
March 11th is when they canceled it.
Oh, okay, all right. I thought it was in February, but yeah.
Well, no, I think it was all on the heels of that. Or they March 11th, we knew that stay-at-home order was coming.
Right. Yeah.
Because I remember going to the store and still finding toilet paper.
Right.
I knew it was on the horizon.
So you bought a whole bunch. Yeah.
I bought 20 48 roll packs. I had me and my mom and dad, kids, their mom, her husband. No,
You had the freaking Brady Bunch going on in there.
We all pushed flatbed carts. Leaning towers of Pisa of Angel Soft. We're going down. Hey, watch out! What's this guy buying all this toilet paper for?
He's a smart one. He's buying it all up.
He must know the governor. So yeah, so I mean, it wasn't. They didn't jump the gun that much. I mean, like everybody, you're just hoping something would change.
Right.
The information would change. So, yeah, March 11th seems like forever ago now.
It does. It seems forever. It's ridiculous. Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, Oregon. I mean, Oregon State. I mean, they were saying that they didn't want any gatherings for through the summer. I know that.
You know, it almost seems to me where we may be heading in the direction to where we're playing college football with nobody in the stands. I mean, I think that may become the lesser of all of the evils that they are really trying to figure out. It wouldn't really surprise me if that's where it went. Because I think Gene Smith had said that for any home games that they were going to limit it to like 22,000 people, which I still think is a whole lot. I mean, that's a lot. But considering what the Horseshoe holds, they hold 105,000 or something. So I mean, that's so you could probably still maintain the quote social distancing with 22,000 people, but I don't know if they would really stipulate as far as where they could sit or where the seating would be, or so.
Yeah, I saw like an animated model, like example, and it looked like they had like groups of people, like 2 groups for every section. Well, not section, like bench of bleachers.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And then like skipping a row up, So
I mean, that would make more sense. I think that's probably the smartest thing to really do until all this stuff is just done, which we have no idea when that is even going to be. I mean, there could be something that actually causes it to, kind of flare back up. We just don't know. But I think that's probably the smart way to go. I think that's probably the model that most schools are probably going to use is something very similar to whatever your stadium holds, then you can only, admit maybe, a quarter of that number or something like that. So.
Yeah, we're, NBA, they're talking about, it's like the same thing I've been talking about for a while. It's like that whole, like we can host games down at the Walt Disney World Resorts or something.
Yeah, I don't know. The NBA and NHL might just be better off to say, look, it's going to cost us some cash, but we just got to eat this whole season, because you're talking about trying to cram a whole bunch of games into a very limited time frame that you have. So they might just be better off to just cancel their seasons.
Yeah, I saw a report on ESPN from an NHL reporter who said that NHL is considering a 24-team playoff with like
20. How many teams are in the NHL? Is there like 30 some?
I would say 30.
Yeah.
Yeah, 24-team playoff. Not like single elimination, but like seeds 5 through 12 would have 5-game series. It seems like still like a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot of games. So would they take it based off of whatever the current team's record was whenever they stopped play?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they couldn't like just go, you're not that marketable.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose in an effort to at least crown some semblance of a champion, then you could do that. But that's a lot of games to be crammed into a tight window, man. You're talking that's a lot. I don't know how they would do that.
Yeah. This is the ideas. It's like, I don't know. We
It's,
can't
that's
get anything decided on because it's so complicated.
Yeah, and then wouldn't you have to maybe rework your TV deals because you would have to air more games, and you would think that you would want to put them on TV somewhere, so you would have to rework whatever TV contract deals that you had out. It's there's
Yeah,
a
I mean,
lot of moving parts in something like that.
I don't know what's more complicated, that side or like the financial side of it between what players get paid and what TV deals
Yeah,
are, or the whole like how do you house these guys? Like where do these guys stay? How you're keeping them like semi quarantined? Like what are the travel arrangements? What are the hotel arrangements? You know, it's like, God, it's
yeah,
weird.
that's really what I mean by there's so many moving parts in something like that. It's
Because they want to keep them. They want to keep the travel to a like bare minimum.
yeah.
Something like really weird, like with like Thunderdome games. But, but like, I mean, what is that? You know?
Yeah, it's that's why I said, man, I get that you want to try to salvage some sort of money from this season because you've lost so much from it, but it's and I suppose putting out a watered down product and still making money is better in their eyes than not making any money. But I mean, how much are you going to really anger the fans? Or I could be wrong. I mean, the fans may just be thrilled to have something back too, and they may love it no matter what. So
Yeah,
it's just it's a really odd situation. It's very strange for sure.
yeah. Do we want to move on from this
Sure.
and just talk
Yeah,
about
sure.
the 4th and 15 proposed
Yeah, the
rule
new
in
rule that
the
was
NFL?
actually proposed. It's weird.
Yeah, so it's nothing done deal. It's just it's kind of a good idea. It's kind of a cool idea on the surface,
Yeah.
getting rid of the onside kick, which is kind of like I mean I've seen guys get injured on that before because it's kind of like
Yeah, they were talking about that
yeah,
about it, and the last significant injury that I could think of was in Kellen Winslow's rookie year. He was involved in a onside kick, and he wound up breaking his leg. Now,
yeah,
of course, he had a lot more trouble past that point when he was riding his bike and he crashed and he tore up his knee. But I remember Kellen Winslow's rookie year, he was involved in something like that, and he wound up breaking his leg. So, I mean, I I understand the reasoning behind it, but the injuries aren't that significant. I mean, I would be
that's
curious as far as like what the stats were.
yeah. I haven't heard that being like laid out for a reason. I think they just want to come up with something that's more interesting and has some sort of
Yeah,
more ri- well, it's more exciting and more. Hey, we got a shot than
yeah,
onside kick. I mean, how many onside kicks? I mean, we saw some couple crazy ones last year with the Falcons and the
right.
one guy, the one their kicker. But
I think you
it's
could
usually
probably
it's
make
almost like a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, you could probably make the argument. In fact, I would say that you definitely could, that your chances are better significantly of converting a 4th and 15 as opposed to getting an actual um, onside kick. I mean, there are so many things that can happen on a 4th and 15. I mean, you have multiple different options. I mean, I'm sure that teams would probably have multiple plays in place for that. You could also get a penalty that would actually
Yeah,
so I mean there's all different kinds of factors that could really go into that would help you get that 4th and 15.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's 4th and 15 from your own 25,
Yeah,
which makes it more of a. I mean, because if you get that, then you're on the 40. One play, you're on the 40 or
beyond. Yeah,
beyond.
yeah,
And but so the stuff that they have with this, that they're the language, the sub rules with this are There's no more than 2 times a game.
Right. You can only do it twice per game. And I don't know if you can still do a actual onside kick if you have used up your other 2 attempts. I think you can still do I think you can still do the actual onside kick if you have used up your 2 attempts. Now, I don't know in what kind of game where you would actually use up both of your actual attempts, but I'm not sure if once you're done with those 2, if that takes out the option of doing the actual onside kick.
Here, I'll bring this up. What I'm
Okay.
showing here is see. So this Tom Pelissaro here. See, 2 times a game must notify the ref of its intention to forego a kickoff or safety kick to retain possession. So obviously, it's like you just can't run out on the field.
Right. You can't just fool them. So that actually would be pretty interesting is if somebody lined up for their onside kick and then the other team ran like 20 yards back and then they got set for the 4th and 15 and like ran a play. That would be interesting.
So say play clock. They reach the line to gain. The result of the play is first down. All customary rules are in effect. If the defense stops the offense, the defense assumes possession at the dead ball spot. So obviously,
Right.
if the offense is penalized on its 1 scrimmage down, the offense cannot elect to kick off after the penalty is enforced. Okay, yeah. So if it's dead.
So that basically means that if you get a false start, you can't then say, all right, well, we're going to stop this and we'll go back and try the onside kick. It means that you have to go to 4th and 20 now instead of taking the option. I'm assuming that that's what that means. That if you get a penalty on 4th and 15, that would actually make you 4th and 20. You can't then change your mind and say, okay, let's go ahead and do the onside kick.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. You're like, if you don't like the play, you don't have any timeouts.
Right.
You got to jump off sides on purpose.
Yeah.
You go, we're going to kick it.
Yeah.
Change your mind. Yeah.
Yeah, I would. That's probably wise because someone like a Belichick would probably find some sort of a loophole and try to get through it somehow. That's exactly what he does. Yeah.
This.
Yeah.
Yeah, doing a sly, weird grin.
Yeah.
Scrimmage kicks are prohibited. So
I'm assuming that means that you can't
pooch punt.
Yeah, you probably can't pooch punt, which I don't know why you would pooch punt from the 25. I don't understand why you would do that. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, that's kind of interesting if you did like a because on a pooch punt, can that be recoverable by the kicking team if somebody touches it?
Yeah, I think it can be. I think it's the same as a kickoff in a sense. It's not like a normal punt. I think it's still a live ball once it's kicked.
I wonder why more people don't do a pooch punt. So
they probably don't have a very because
these guys are good enough athletes. A lot of
typically though it's the quarterback or the running back that is going to pooch it, and they probably don't trust them enough to get it very far down the field to at least make it worth it. Although I've seen some of them do they've done a hell of a good job. So, but yeah, I'm not sure why you don't really see it that often.
You would think somebody would come up with something where they would do a pooch punt. They would almost like do a rugby style and try to just squib the shit out of it off of somebody.
Right.
Like off of somebody.
Yeah.
Create chaos.
I would guess that probably takes a little bit of time to practice, and most teams probably don't want to take time out of their regular, practice schedule for something like that.
Then again, if it's 4th down and but you're going to pooch it. You're going to send your offense. If you're going to send your offense on a 4th and 2 or something like that, like, yeah, I guess there's no point in like trying to nail it off of somebody. But I guess if you want to advance it down the field, but then I don't know. That's kind of like, yeah, that's kind of like, yeah, that scenario is that's kind of a weird scenario to try to advance the ball. Like, you're better off just running a freaking play.
Yeah,
it doesn't really make sense.
No,
I just never thought of it until now.
Yeah, I mean, you just don't really see it that often. You know, that's the reason why. I mean, most people didn't really think about stuff like that because it just doesn't really happen that often. So
yeah. So let's see, penalty for a legal kick on free. Yeah, they're all saying the reason for this is provides excitement and competition late in the game.
Yeah, and I was listening to NFL radio when I was going to work the other day, and Solomon Wilcox was on there talking, who I've always been a really big, fan of his. I mean, he seems to be a really smart dude. And he says, and he was talking about how, yeah, it's going to bring more, excitement to the game, but you are also giving a team a shot that really hasn't earned it. I mean, typically teams are in that situation because they've played pretty bad throughout most of the game, and now we're going to give a team a shot who hasn't really earned it to try and stay in the game. And he didn't specifically call it unfair, but it seems like when you're a team who has really earned that spot, you've really worked hard, you've played hard, you've really played well. But wait a minute, we're going to give this team who hasn't done that a shot to try and, stay in the game. So I understand that point, and it's sort of a valid point, but it's always about how much more, excitement can we bring to this game. So
yeah, there's no update or there's no specification saying that the team has to be trailing in the game.
Right.
So it can be used by either one, but either winning team or losing team at the time. But yeah, it's they're going to talk about it Thursday. I don't know if they vote on it, but it's going to be discussed more Thursday.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know if I would be in favor of it. I suppose on the surface, I would be in favor of it simply because the chances are so slim that a team would really be able to actually do that. I mean, 4th and 15. I mean, it is tough to get 15 yards on any play. So I mean,
usually in the course of a game, you're 4th and 15 because you had a holding penalty, a sack, and you're like, you're almost like, 3rd and 15, you're like, oh boy, let's just try to get something here. We'll try this, you got a shot, but 15, especially when they know you need 15.
Right. That's going to be the whole thing. That's what is going to make it really hard. Is that the defense knows that you're stuck in this spot to where you have to get 15 yards. So they can essentially play a very soft is the wrong word to use, but you could still play a very
cloud.
Yeah, cloud. Yeah, you could play the cloud and be just fine. I mean, you could just put everybody back, 10 or 12 yards and just kind of wait and see what happens.
Yeah, linebackers are just going to keep everything in front of them. They're going to drop back 12, and safeties will be 15 to 18.
Yeah.
They might put 3 safeties, play a cover 3 or 4.
Yeah, and you could rush two or maybe 3 guys. I mean, that's
or you blitz. Yeah, try to make them get rid of the ball fast.
Yeah, I mean, so the whole thing is the entire advantage lies with the defense on something like that. So I mean. I don't think it's going to happen that often. I mean, I think teams will try it, but I don't think that they're really going to make it that often. I don't think it's going to vary up. I don't think that it's going to have a very high success rate. So, but I'm sure that I'm sure that they'll probably pass it, and it'll probably stay in the rule books for some time.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, I I would be surprised if it doesn't pass. I'll say that. I think most owners are gonna probably
Yeah.
look at it from from the way that we've been actually looking at it, is it's going to be so hard to actually, convert it. So
It's along the same vein as the moving back the onside kick, the extra point.
yeah.
Trying to add excitement and more, it's like more competitiveness. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was passed, and that's been fairly successful. I'm sure that the numbers have actually gone up on the number of missed extra points, but it's probably not been that high. So
No, but it does add something to it.
yeah, it does add it to where you're going to be forced to maybe, go to where you're going to have to actually, go for two at some point later on. So
yeah. So yeah, it's interesting. It's not the same as like moving back the extra point, but
it's in the same vein though. Yeah.
But yeah, where the reasoning is the same.
Yeah.
So I can see, it could get passed because of the reasoning. People are bringing that up. Well, we changed this because of that reason. Like, why not change that? It's not the same, and I don't know. I can't tell what the like overall fan opinion is. Like,
yeah, I haven't heard much yet.
The first two comments below that post were, "This is ruining." Why don't they just add a 28-point play?
No, it's
Jock football.
I don't think
throws from this purple circle. 28 points.
I don't think it's going to ruin anything. It'll either work or it won't, and teams are going to succeed at it or they won't. It's not going to ruin it one way or the other, and it's just because the odds are so low that it will actually work. It's not going to have a very high, success rate. So I don't think that it's even going to ruin it. It won't ruin much of anything. So
if you're let's see. So like the teams, like if they could bring in, so that the way that they could get like a 21-point play would be like if they can bring in one of their athletic trainers at quarterback.
Or you could just pull some schmuck from the stands and get him to play quarterback for like one play. And if you can get it, that's
Popco peanut. I'm gonna play. All right, let's go. All right, let's go.
Been waiting my whole life. They just find that because every stadium has 50,000 Uncle Ricos up in the stands, and they all just want their one shot, man. If Coach would have put me in, I know we would have won state. Not a doubt in my mind, man. Not a doubt in my mind that we would have won state.
Yeah.
No. So, yeah, that would be an exciting play for sure, to get Uncle Rico to come down from the stands and start playing quarterback. What the heck? I guess that adds to the whole, that his form adds to the entire comedy of the whole situation. But my God, is that the worst form that you've ever seen for a quarterback in his entire life? It's ridiculous, man.
Let's see if I can find it.
Oh, you're going to find a clip of Uncle Rico throwing the football?
Something. Let's see. Hold on.
Oh, man.
Go check out his form.
He even throws that steak the exact same way that he throws a football too. He throws a steak at him.
Terrible.
Uncle Rico, man.
Hopefully it's not copyright infringement.
I don't know.
It's a GIF
for about 5.
The internet gives a shit. YouTube didn't say copyright claim last time. Thank God.
Oh, good.
There's nothing in it though. It wasn't like
there was nothing in that one from from last week. I don't think we actually had anything in it last week.
Yeah, but audience, we don't make money on this. We're just doing it for fun.
Yeah.
There's no commercials. There's no unless YouTube throws some on it. We're not monetizing off of it.
No, we don't monetize. And short of this becoming a wildly successful podcast, we're not ever going to be making any money off it.
Yeah, so. We're just trying to establish some sort of audience. So we have something. Once there's actually really good stuff to talk about when the season starts, we'll have some practice. We'll know what we want to do, and then we can review games, Buckeye games, and Big Ten games, and whatever other big games in college football, and then we can bring them on here.
Right.
And have something week in, week out that's good. So
yeah, we're just trying to, kill time right now until football gets back. That's all this is pretty much.
Yeah. It's hard to get jazzed up about shit that's not even going on.
Yeah,
so
I know.
It'd be one thing if we came off the spring season and we knew like, oh, we saw this, we saw that.
Yeah.
And you heard about other teams and what they saw, and this
right.
A lot more to talk about with a lot more energy.
Absolutely.
Now there's like some sort of light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, absolutely, which is a great thing.
But there's been a couple of these that we've done. It's just kind of like, this and that. It's just kind of like everything's just gloomy.
Yeah.
We'll see. Everything's play it by ear. We'll just cross our fingers and pray that nothing slows this plan down.
Yeah, I certainly hope not. I am ready for some semblance of sports to be back for sure. And I haven't been a real big NBA fan for the last couple of years. But if they came back, boy, I would be the first one tuned in just to get some sense of sports back. So, but yeah.
Watched UFC last weekend, and I watched some of that AEW last night. So
I love some of your texts about that stuff from last night. How they had it was just some bad stuff going on during that pay-per-view.
Gosh, but it was. There was a couple matches that were really good, really entertaining and good, and then some of the others were just complete clunkers.
Yeah.
Then the last one, my stream crashed, and I didn't even give a crap. It started off that bad.
Wow.
Stream crashed, and I was like, I don't even care.
Yeah.
It was a giant. There was a ring on the Jacksonville Jaguars football stadium, and all these guys, like, they all came out like it was like the Brawl and the Outsiders, except it wasn't that good. It was so lame. It was just like, oh my gosh. It was just like, you might as well just it was like 5-on-5 or 6-on-6. It was almost like, well, you might as well just done it like Survivor Series style, and then in the actual arena, it was like so sprawled out. They just put a bunch of like, it was just nonsense. And then it was so sprawled out that they were trying to make it all like cinematic and
yeah, that's you really have to be careful trying not to do too much on something like that. That's something to where you almost just got to stick to the basics and stick to what the fans want, and not try to get too creative or too cute with stuff. So
if they would have made it like War Games or something, where they had the rings neck back to back, it would have been better.
Yeah.
They called it, what they call it, something Stampede, and it was just, I don't know. It was just, it started off like super lame. Like some guy, like they're just not. Some of these guys just aren't that good, and they're just like, they throw bad punches or hit guys. They don't hit them, make it look good, and the guy's down. And he's just like, and then there's other stuff where they do something that's like cataclysmic, and the guy's up in like 5 seconds. Right?
Wait a minute. No. You have to be able to sell that stuff a lot better than that, man.
Guy got hit by a golf cart in his head, but
right.
He looked awesome. But he couldn't put his arm up, but he still took an amazing bump on concrete. This is on AEW Dynamite.
Right.
Last Wednesday or the Wednesday before. I don't know. Either recently, super recently. The guy got up in like 10 seconds. Like, who gets hit in the head with a golf
No.
takes that bump? It's like, stay down. Like, I don't know. I mean, he took such a bump. I was surprised he got up that fast. But it's like, why is that guy up? And then they had like 5 more minutes of match after that.
Yeah, you have to be able to sell that way better. That's why there's, and I haven't seen any of that stuff, but I always think about, obviously the main big time wrestlers. I mean, those guys, they know how to sell a bump, and it's one of the big things that you are probably taught when you first get in that business is you have to learn how to really sell. You can't, because the fans are smart enough to understand that if you're not selling it, they're just not going to care. So
part of their problem is they don't craft these matches very well. So the high spots aren't high spots anymore. They're just all over the match, and there's no climax.
You have to have that build.
It's just like this. It's like just spikes all over it's like there's no build.
No.
There's no build, and nothing makes any sense. It's like why don't you save the golf cart thing for the end and make that like the kill shot, like and like instead of that was the heel getting hit by the golf cart, and they were back they're all over the place because they have no crowd, so they're just like kind of doing it. A lot of it's kind of not a good amount of it. They're trying to do like kind of like no DQ sort of thing.
It sounds like, and I know it's not on the same level, but it sounds like backyard wrestling with those kids who just
some of it, yeah. Some of these guys are like they come from these outlaw wrestling,
which they pull a lot of their guys from those ridiculous backyard wrestling outfits that are just sad. So
some of these guys are like they're impressive looking, but it's almost like some of them just never went to wrestling school.
Yeah, which a lot of those guys didn't. Those ones that they learn from watching TV, and you can't learn that way, man. I mean, you have to go to school for that stuff, man. You can't just watch it on TV and then learn how to fall, learn how to bump, learn how to. You have to be taught by guys who have been doing it for a long time. But it seems like nowadays, at least in some of those really smaller leagues, it's just guys who just watched it growing up and just learned on their own. So
the best guy they got is a guy named MJF, Maxwell James Friedman.
Yeah,
the heel, and he's kind of like one of those elitist bad guy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He's only 23. He was in Tough Enough, and somehow that WWE ended up letting him from Tough Enough, and he's with them, and he's at his age, he's just as good as Perfect, DiBiase.
Really?
At their ages with that heel character, he does he does all the right things in the ring to get that heat on himself. Just all the right
pretty
things.
Good.
All the right things. Like he does all this old school stuff. He says he studied guys like
that's some high praise, man, because those are two of the best heels in the history of.
Yeah. He said he studied Tully Blanchard. He studied like Flair and like all these guys, what they would do, to all like just dirty stuff. He'll grab like a ref's shoe or something and like he's on the ground, or fake injuries during the match.
Yeah,
fake injuries to get a rest and stuff.
Yeah,
it's good. It's like the stuff that they should do. Heel like a bad guy.
DiBiase was the best. He was one of my favorite heels, and he would pull the same stunt that a lot of heels tried, but he was the best at it. Where he would beg and plead and say, no. And DiBiase was so good at that, man. He was so good at it. He could sell it so well. It was such a good sell that you loved it as a kid. Whenever the face would just like nail him after he was like pleading, and he was so good at it, man. He was really good.
But yeah, that guy MJF, and he had the best. He probably had the best match of the night against another guy. Luke Perry's son is in AEW.
90210, Luke Perry. Wow.
You kind of tell. He kind of looks like him too. Here,
Did
let's
Luke
see.
Perry just die last year,
Yeah, he
or
did,
was
yeah.
that Priestley?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
Let me see. I'll find him. His son has a dumb name. He'll eventually get out of it. His name is Jungle Boy. He has a Tarzan look.
That's a ridiculous gimmick. I haven't even seen a picture of him, and I can tell you that's a horrible gimmick.
Luke Perry's son. It kind of looks like him.
It does look like him, but that's an awful. First of all, that's an awful.
You can tell. Look at that. You can tell he is the look Luke Perry.
Yeah, that one looks just like him. Yeah, that looks just like him.
Yes.
Now, okay, so let me take that back. It's not a bad gimmick. It's a bad name, first of all. That's a horrible name.
Yeah.
And you can't really call him Tarzan, but you have to get
him into this faction. Sorry, they looped him into this faction called Jurassic Express with this like, giant dude who has like the mask, and he looks kind of jungly sort of. Is sort of a thing. So they kind of have him in a faction. So I think eventually, at least I hope, they'll change his name. He's like, but they'll sometimes call him Jungle Boy Jack. I'm like, that's even worse.
That's even worse. Yeah. Get any better.
The kid's really good. And it's just like, okay, get him a new name. This name sucks. Like Jim Cornette talks about that all the time. It's like, like pitch names. It's like, just say Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy. You're gonna put that on a poster? It's like, it sucks. Like, it's like, I don't care about Jungle Boy. Like, you put boy on something, it's like, kid is one thing because that kind of has a cool connotation. Kind of a 1, 2, 3.
Dynamite Kid,
Lightning Kid, 1, 2, 3. Kid is kind of you kind of Jungle Boy is like
boy implies that you don't know what you're doing. You're some, and even then, Jungle Kid would still sound really stupid too. I mean, that's just you can't. I don't know. I don't want to sit here and try and figure out what a better name would be for him, but I'm sure that I could probably think of one that is better than Jungle Boy or Jungle Boy Jack. That's awful.
Just call him Luke Perry.
Yeah, just call him Luke Perry.
Luke Perry Jr.
Go off of his dad's name. Or do you know what would be a really good gimmick is? Well, I don't know if it's really good, but it's better than what they have. Is to turn him into a teen heartthrob, just like his dad was, and
give him
turn him into one of those kids that was on a 90210.
Change his hair to the coiffed white t-shirt, blue jeans, like kind of like the that like throwback.
What was the character's name that his dad played? I don't even know because I didn't watch that show. Dylan something. Yeah, Dylan something. You know what? Give him a similar name to that, and that would be a much better gimmick than the Jungle Boy. Dylan Walsh. I want to say, or no, I'm thinking no. That's a Dylan Walsh is.
Sounds good to me.
I think Dylan Walsh is an actor. But that would be a much better way to go. In fact, I don't know why I just thought of it, but one of my favorite tag teams that was going on back in the Attitude Era. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, I mean, give it a look or something, but I like when a wrestler dresses the part. That's why one of my favorite tag teams of all time was Deuce and Domino. Those guys were great, man. Those guys were awesome. Like a 50s born Deuce and Domino, and they had Cherry as their manager. She would always come down to the ring on like a pair of skates or something and a long skirt. Deuce and Domino.
Dice Domino. Oh wow.
Those guys were fun, man.
28. Wow. So, Deuce and Domino, how you doing?
Kick them in the mouth, which was actually that was their finisher. Was kick them in the mouth.
Kick them in the mouth.
There they are, Deuce and Domino. Yeah, they were hilarious, man. They were so much fun.
Oh, is this them? And they're coming out.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Let me see.
They had the best theme song, man. It was that 50s music that they would come out to. Great.
Dice Clay right there.
Yeah, he looks like Dice Clay. I know, it's great.
Oh! I want some cherry pie. Okay.
Yeah. No.
Well,
But
you
that
keep
was a
going.
good
Yes.
gimmick. That's a great gimmick in my mind. That was a great gimmick. I know some people didn't like it, but I thought that was great.
Well, he's like if Paul. Yeah, I don't know that one. That was one. I remember seeing them before, but yeah, I don't think I was following it whatsoever.
They were on SmackDown quite a bit, and some people watched Raw more than what they did
Yeah.
SmackDown.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Huh.
They were on, yeah.
Yeah.
They were a lot of fun, though. Anyway, we
Yeah.
sort of went off onto a tangent there, but
Yeah. So, all righty. Well, I think we'll wrap it up there.
cool.
So, yeah, at Beyond Buckeyes on Twitter and YouTube, subscribe, and we'll keep trying to get one of these out once a week. And hopefully we keep talking more in the vein of, hey, this is college football's coming. So,
yeah.
and, hey, if some NBA and NHL start up, more NBA than NHL, but if those start getting going, then we'll talk about those series or games or whatever they end up being, whatever format. So
yeah, I'm all for it.
Nothing really, not too much happened in high state recruiting this week. So
No, there wasn't much going on.
Yeah. So, but all right. Well, thanks for listening and watching. Appreciate it. We'll see you in a week, I suppose. So,
You guys.
all right.
Thanks.
See ya.